Have you ever, like, tried to make a simple plan to get coffee with someone, only to end up in this endless, confusing text chain?
Oh, yeah. The absolute worst.
You know the one, right? You say, let's meet. They say, whenever works for you. You suggest a time, and they say, maybe later.
Right, and suddenly it has been 3 weeks and you still haven't had that cup of coffee.
Exactly. Today, we are cracking the code on everyday English scheduling. Because if you are learning English, especially around that A2 or B1 level, or really if you just want to avoid that scheduling nightmare altogether, this deep dive is for you.
It really is. Making plans should not be a puzzle.
You know, it shouldn't. So we are looking at how to make plans in a way that actually works. And we are keeping the focus super tight today. No complicated corporate schedules, no weird jargon, just simple, clean English.
Because the sources we're digging into today, they all point to one single central idea. Good planning English is clear, polite, and specific enough that everyone knows what happens next.
Clear, polite, and specific. I like that.
Yeah, when we look closely at how native speakers navigate this, it is really about building a bridge of communication. You want to get the details locked down without, making the other person feel trapped or bossed around.
And I think that is exactly where the anxiety comes from, right? If you are speaking a second language, you worry about sounding too aggressive.
Definitely.
Or maybe you worry you are being so polite that the plan never actually gets made. You just sort of circle each other forever.
It is a very real fear. And it highlights something fascinating about English, especially in places like North America or the UK. English speakers use a lot of, we call them buffers.
Buffers, like padding.
Exactly. They are gentle words that pad a sentence to make it softer. Because in some cultures, it is perfectly polite to be direct. You might just say, we will meet at 8 o'clock.
Right. But if you translate that directly into English,
it can sound like a command from a military general.
Yes. If someone texted me, we meet at 8, I would think, yes, sir, I will be there. It just feels so intense.
Yeah, it really does. So today, we are going to walk through the natural lifespan of a single plan, from the very first question to the final confirmation.
Okay, let's unpack this. The journey of any plan has to start with actually seeing if the other person has the time, right?
Right. Before we even suggest what we want to do, we need to know if the door is open.
And the source material highlights one phrase as the absolute gold standard for this.
And that phrase is, are you free on Friday?
Are you free on Friday? Now, hold on, because I want to play the role of the confused learner for a second here.
Okay, go for it.
The word free usually means something doesn't cost money, like a buy one, get one free sale at the supermarket. So am I asking if their Friday is going to cost me money?
I am so glad you brought that up because it is a massive point of confusion. In this context, free has absolutely nothing to do with money.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah, it means available. It means your schedule is empty at that time. You are free from other obligations, free from work, free from classes.
Gotcha. So you are just asking, is your schedule open on Friday? But, why not just ask, do you have time on Friday? Why use the word free at all?
Well, you certainly can ask if they have time, but are you free? It is slightly more colloquial and relaxed. It feels less like an interrogation about their schedule.
That makes sense.
And you could expand it depending on the time of day, like, are you free on Friday afternoon? It just opens the door very gently.
And it leaves them out, right? If they are busy, they could just say, oh, sorry, I'm not free.
Exactly.
It doesn't require them to list all their appointments to prove they're busy.
Precisely. It protects their privacy, which, as we will see, is a really big theme in English scheduling.
Okay, so let's say I ask you, are you free on Friday? And you say yes. We have established you have open time. Now I actually have to suggest an activity.
Right.
And the source is playing out one specific phrase that is probably used, I don't know, millions of times a day.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to grab coffee?
Yes. Do you want to grab coffee after class or do you want to grab coffee this weekend? It is incredibly common.
Okay, but I have to push back on this one a little bit.
Yeah. Oh.
How so?
I know this is a standard phrase, but really think about the word grab. If you look at it literally, grab implies violence or sudden force.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Right, like grabbing a purse on the subway or grabbing someone's arm. To a learner, saying, let's grab coffee, it sounds almost aggressive, like we're going to run into the cafe, steal the coffee, and run away.
It does sound like a heist when you put it that way.
Yeah.
But this is where the literal dictionary definition and the cultural meaning split entirely.
Okay, so what is the cultural meaning then?
In everyday conversational English, grab is actually the opposite of aggressive. It is used to lower the stakes of the invitation.
Lower the stakes. How do you mean?
Well, think about it. If I say to you, would you like to accompany me to the cafe to consume beverages?
Wow. Yeah, that sounds like a formal date or a very serious business meeting.
Right, there is a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
But by saying grab, I am signaling that this will be fast, easy, and low commitment.
We are just going to effortlessly pick up a coffee. If we are not having a good time, it is easy to leave because we just grabbed it. It makes it very safe to say yes.
That is fascinating. It's like we are tricking ourselves into relaxing. Like, oh, we aren't having a formal meeting. We're just grabbing a quick drink.
Exactly. It completely removes the social pressure.
Okay, so you're free on Friday, and you agree that you want to grab coffee. The next hurdle is usually the hardest one, I think.
Suggesting the time.
Yes. We have to suggest a specific time. And if we aren't careful here, this is where that endless text chain begins. We need to suggest a time without sounding bossy.
Which introduces our third core phrase, how about Saturday morning?
How about, I really like this phrase. Going back to what you said about buffers earlier, this feels like the ultimate buffer.
It is. If you just say, we will meet on Saturday morning, you are demanding. If you say, how about Saturday morning, you are inviting their opinion.
The analogy I always like to use for this is playing catch.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, if I want to suggest a time, it is like I have a ball. If I just say Saturday morning, I am throwing that ball hard right at your face. You either catch it or it hits you.
Ouch.
Right. But if I say, how about Saturday morning, I am softly tossing the ball in an arc. You can easily catch it, or if you're busy, you could just gently toss it back with a different time.
That is a perfect way to visualize it. And that gentle toss is crucial in English communication.
Because it removes the guilt.
Yes. If they cannot do Saturday, they do not feel guilty because you only asked, how about? They might toss it back and say, Saturday morning is tough. How about Sunday? The negotiation stays friendly.
But sometimes you need to get more specific than just morning. You need an actual time on the clock.
Right, you need a number.
And this brings us to another phrase that I think confuses a lot of people who are translating directly from their native language. Concept number 4 is, let us aim for 7.
Let us aim for 7, but I can be flexible. This is a brilliant phrase to keep in your vocabulary.
Okay, 2 things here. First, let's talk about the pronunciation. Sure, the sources use let us. But in the real world, if I am at a loud cafe or talking fast on the phone, I am never going to say, let us aim for 7. It sounds like Shakespeare.
You are entirely right. This raises an important point about written versus spoken English. In almost every spoken scenario, let us contracts into let's. L-E-T''S.
Let's aim for 7.
Exactly. We use let us in the source material so learners clearly see the grammatical structure, but you should absolutely say let's in conversation.
Got it. So let's aim for 7. Now let's talk about the word aim.
Okay.
Why are we aiming? This isn't archery. Why don't we just say, let's meet at 7?
Because life is unpredictable, especially in modern cities. There is traffic, there are late trains, meetings run long.
So true.
When you say, let's meet at 7, it implies a strict deadline. If you arrive at 7:05, you are late. You have failed the plan.
Right. The other person is standing there tapping their watch, looking annoyed.
Exactly. But when you say, let's aim for 7, you are doing exactly what an archer does. You are pointing your arrow at the target of 7 o'clock.
Okay, I see where you're going with this.
You're going to try your best to hit the center. But if your arrow lands a little to the left, say you arrive at 7:10, it is not a disaster.
Because 7 was just a target, not a strict rule.
Precisely. It builds forgiveness into the plan.
I love that. You are building forgiveness into the plan before the plan even happens. You are saying, I value our meeting, but I also acknowledge that reality exists.
It is a very mature, relaxed way to schedule.
Okay, so we have tossed the ball with, how about we have aimed our arrow at a time the plan is made.
Success.
But, as we just said, reality exists. Even the best plans fall apart. You get sick, your boss hands you extra work, your car won't start.
Life happens.
It does. We have to know how to pivot. And we have to do it without offending the other person.
This is where we shift from making plans to changing plans. And the phrase the sources highlight here is, could we move it to Saturday?
Could we move it to Saturday? I use this all the time.
Yes.
But I want to talk about the physical imagery of that word, move. It's so interesting to me.
It is very literal, isn't it?
It is. When you cancel a plan, it sounds destructive, like you are taking a hammer to the plan and smashing it.
Right.
But when you say, could we move it, it's like rerouting a GPS. You aren't canceling the road trip. You are just finding a slightly different path to get to the same destination.
That is a great way to think about it.
I imagine picking up a little block on a digital calendar and literally dragging it from Friday over to Saturday. The plan is still alive. It just lives in a different time zone now.
The GPS analogy is spot on. You do not want the other person to think you are rejecting them. You are only rejecting the time slot.
Got it.
Could we move it? Signals that you still very much want to see them. And notice the polite buffer again. Could we?
Not. We must move it.
Right. Or, I am moving it. You are asking for their permission to shift the calendar block.
It keeps them involved in the process.
Yeah.
But what if you can't just move it? What if something totally unexpected happens and you don't even know when you can reschedule?
We have a phrase for this, and it is concept number 6. Something came up.
Something came up.
Okay. Yes. I am sorry. Something came up. This means an unexpected event has occurred, and you cannot make the plan.
Okay, I really need to challenge this one.
Oh, boy. Okay.
Because if I invite a friend to my birthday dinner, a dinner I paid for, and an hour before they text me, sorry, something came up, I'm going to be so offended.
Oh, absolutely.
I am going to assume they just got a better offer,
Right.
or they decided they wanted to stay home and watch television. It sounds so suspicious. Is it actually safe to use this?
That is a fantastic point, and it perfectly illustrates the danger of this phrase. Something came up is a double-edged sword. It is heavily reliant on context and the closeness of the relationship.
So when is it actually okay to use?
It is designed to act as a privacy shield. Let's say you have a sudden, embarrassing medical issue, or you get a phone call about a family crisis that is deeply personal.
Stuff you don't want to text about.
Exactly. In English-speaking cultures, there is a strong boundary regarding personal privacy. You are not obligated to share your trauma or your private medical details just to cancel a coffee date.
Right. Right.
By saying something came up, you are signaling to the other person, I have a valid emergency, but it is private. And culturally, the polite response is to accept that and not ask probing questions.
I see. So it's a polite way of saying it's a secret, but a necessary one.
Exactly. For casual plans, like our coffee date, it is perfectly acceptable. The problem, as you noted with the birthday dinner, is when the stakes are high.
Right. Missing a major life event.
Yes, or a huge presentation at work. Saying something came up in those situations is too vague. It feels dismissive. In those high-stakes situations, people feel they have earned an explanation, and you need to provide a real reason. So use the privacy shield wisely.
That is a great rule of thumb.
Yeah.
Low stakes, use the shield. High stakes, give the real excuse.
Exactly.
All right, let's assume we have successfully navigated all of this. We started the plan, we suggested a time, maybe we even had to move it once. Now we are at the finish line.
The final step.
Yes, we have to lock this plan in so that absolutely nobody is left confused about what happens next.
Confirming the plan is just as important as making it. If you do not confirm, both people will wake up on Friday wondering, are we actually still doing this?
The worst feeling.
Truly. Our next phrase solves that. It is, that works for me.
That works for me.
Yeah.
You suggest Saturday morning and I say, that works for me. Why not just say, okay, or yes?
Well, you could say, okay, but think about the tone. If I type out a long text suggesting a cafe, a time, and where to park, and you just reply with the letter K, just the letter K.
Oh, that is the worst. Just K. It feels so cold. It feels like you were annoyed by my text.
Right. It lacks enthusiasm entirely. When you say, that works for me, you are actively participating in the agreement.
You are engaging with the plan.
Exactly. You are saying, I have checked my schedule, I have considered your suggestion, and I affirmatively agree that it is a good plan. It ends the back and forth negotiation on a very positive, cooperative note.
It shows you actually care about the plan. Okay, so we agree the time works. Now for the absolute final lock-in, the phrase that seals the deal. Concept number 8 is, so we are set for Friday.
So we are set for Friday at 7. This is the period at the end of the sentence. It is the last thing you say before you say goodbye.
Let's talk about the word set. Because I usually think of setting a table for dinner or setting an alarm clock. What does it mean for us to be set?
Think of wet concrete. When you pour concrete, it is liquid. You can move it around, you can change its shape.
Right.
That is what our plan was like when we were saying, how about an aim for? It was flexible.
The negotiation phase.
Exactly. But eventually, concrete dries. And when it dries, we say, it has set. It is solid. It is not going to move unless you take a sledgehammer to it.
Oh, I love that imagery.
Yeah. When you tell someone we are set, you are telling them the concrete has dried. This plan is official. It is written in pen on my calendar, and I will be there.
That is a brilliant image. The plan has dried. We are set. Okay, I want to try an experiment with you.
Oh, okay.
We have covered these 8 phrases. And normally this is where people just review them like flashcards.
Yeah.
But real life isn't a flashcard. Real life is messy.
Very messy.
Let's do a role play right now. I am going to try to pin you down for a meeting, and I want you to be a little difficult. I have to use all the tools we just learned to navigate your schedule. Ready?
I am ready. Do your best.
All right. Hey, I really need to talk to you about the deep dive schedule. Are you free on Friday?
Oh, Friday is completely booked for me. I am in meetings all day.
Okay. Well, do you want to grab coffee sometime next week instead?
Next week could work. I definitely need caffeine.
Perfect. How about Tuesday morning before the studio opens?
No, I cannot do mornings next week. I have to drop my car at the mechanic.
No problem. Let's reroute. Could we move it to Wednesday afternoon?
Wednesday afternoon. Yes, I have a window then.
Great. Let's aim for 3 o'clock at the cafe next door.
Oh, wait. I'm so sorry. I just checked my calendar and I forgot I have a dentist appointment on Wednesday. Something came up.
Okay, the concrete is still wet. Let's try Thursday. Thursday at 4.
Thursday at 4. Yes. That works for me.
Excellent. So we are set for Thursday at 4.
See, we got there eventually.
We did. And even though it took a few tries, it never felt like we were arguing. It just felt like we were working together to solve a puzzle.
Yeah.
And that is the power of these phrases.
It really is. They keep the tension low while you figure out the logistics.
Which brings us to a much bigger thought.
Yeah.
We have spent this whole time looking at the mechanics of English scheduling, the tossing of the ball, the aiming of the arrow. But what I want you, the listener, to think about this week goes beyond just memorizing vocabulary.
Right.
Think about how people in your own native language make plans.
That is always a fascinating comparison to make.
It really is. Do people in your culture use these polite buffers? Do they pad their sentences to soften the blow of a schedule change? Or are they much more direct?
Yeah, consider how English uses these gentle, flexible phrases like aim for, or how about not just to share information about a clock or a calendar.
Right. English uses these phrases to protect the relationship, to show respect, to make sure no one feels pressured or commanded. When you realize that learning these phrases isn't just about telling time. It is about understanding the psychology of the culture. Our words are doing so much more heavy lifting than we realize.
They are. Language is never just data transfer. It is always about relationship management. And honestly, the best way to get comfortable with this is to simply try it.
Which brings us to the homework.
Yes. The source material we use today leaves us with a very practical piece of homework.
I love practical homework. What is the assignment?
Your assignment for this week is to use this exact structure in the real world. Practice making one plan. Practice changing that plan once. And then practice confirming the final detail.
Just one plan.
Just one plan, start to finish, using the phrases we covered. If you do that, you will feel the rhythm of it. You will see how naturally these phrases interlock to create that bridge of communication we talked about at the very beginning.
Make a plan, move a plan, confirm a plan. I think everyone can handle that.
I think so too.
Well, thank you so much for joining us for this deep dive. We really appreciate you spending your time with us, navigating the tricky waters of English scheduling.
It was fun.
Please, go out and practice these phrases this week. Send that text, make that coffee date. And before you go, please make sure to subscribe to the channel so you never miss an update or a future deep dive. Keep practicing, keep listening, and we will catch you next time.